perspective is the complicated relationship between depression and social isolation. So let's use the 5-8 is going to be depression. Alright? And the 5-9 is going to be social isolation. And there's that in between again. We don't miss that word. We want that word. This is Keen. K-E-E-N. 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 Okay? What gets lost in this perspective? That's where I'm way back in kindergarten now. What's the perspective? Psychology. Psychologists don't know what psychology is. But in the kindergarten, high school, inspired so that he's just that. In elementary, he's just that. Junior high, he's just that. High school, he's just that. Finally in college where I get to sit down, and it'd be nothing but that around the clock. Psychology, 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 psychology. Learn about psychology, psychology, psychology. And so, between what gets lost in this perspective is the complicated relationship between depression and social isolation. Now, I also use the word foundation. All right, I used the word foundation, and what I used this for was when we come around in this area where we first started, and we find in that most magnificent high point of our story, and we give it foundational credit. We way up here, 8 semesters of college later, when we just started in kindergarten, and what we're doing is we find in that highest point in our kindergarten elementary years, and we're going to give it its foundational credit. Alright? Because, again, what gets lost in this perspective? What can get lost in that perspective? What can get lost? You are a psychologist, but you don't know what psychology is. It's like we all could get lost. Everybody end up lost. Psychologists don't know psychology. What is psychology? So, what gets lost in this perspective is the complicated relationship between depression and isolation. So there's that between, we get that between. When we capitalize on, okay, is it multiplication? It's between here, multiplication. It's between here, subtraction. It's between here, division. It's between here, addition. Alright, so we got our depression's representation of 5-8, and we got the 5-9 representing social isolation. Now, just in this area where we can go on with depression, and we can put that over here with complexity, conflict, and climax. So let's put that over here. That's because this is our, when we capitalize on, this is an everyday thing. Okay, this is an everyday thing. Now let's get these some more awesome words of importance in this moment's time to say. But depression has become a cat's hall complaint for everyone, from the stay-at-home mother who talks only to toddlers all day, to angry unemployed man who feels the world, to the angry unemployed man who feels the world has handed him a raw deal. The diagnosis may be accurate, but the stories people tell to explain how they arrived at their unhappy conditions are often wrong. Alright? But it starts in this area. We done got the wrong son. S-U-M. We got the wrong S-U-M. But the stories people tell to explain how they, so let's get that again. Let's capitalize on but the stories. To say again, but the stories, we have the high point of action in the story. And then we didn't capitalize on, we got the helicopter lifting off over here. We got that story. And we got the high point of action in the story. And then picking up here, the people, but the stories people tell to explain how they arrived. But the stories people tell to explain how they arrived at their unhappy condition are often wrong. So definitely when we get this song, it's explaining how we arrive. Now yesterday in this involvement, there is now when we get this song, S-U-M, right? And we got the right song. And here's where I use conscious stream and to say I use, and I believe about cause and effect, but I used so introvert, and I used extrovert, introvert. And then I use raising children. This is a good area here to really magnify. Raising children, there was nervous system. I use the nervous system. Each and every day, the introvert experience. Each and every day, the extrovert experience. Each and every day, the raising children. Raising children, sometimes we be raising 3 children at the same time. It could be more than 3 children. It can be, wow, how many number of children we have. And then each and every one of their own uniquenesses. And we're not pertaining to each and every one of them like they either or the same. They was keeping up with that very individual child. Now that when it's time to bring in conscious stream, because as that relationship with that child and that parent, let's say using going from kindergarten, elementary, junior high, high school, and all in adulthood, in that raising of their children, or that raising of their child experience, in the continuance of however many children we have, that uniqueness, that individuality, that differ, the knowing the differ of all the children, because now that's also different maintenance that came into the picture, and then to say to keeping up with all that throughout the existence or the time of being in a relationship or the relationship. Perfect way to put it. That's keeping up with numerous maintenance. That's just not one maintenance happening pertaining to plus uniqueness. Maintenance plus uniqueness a couple times for every number of children we have. So I use that in that this is a good magnifier here. All these words are good magnifier here. That really brings some sharp detail, because when we get that S-U-M, when we go to tackle such a scenario for ourselves, when we're responding to such a scenario, I use also the word respond and reactions. 2 different words, knowing the difference. Let's get respond and reaction. And what I used to capitalize on this was knowing the difference of respond and reaction. And I use the example of accept is not the same as accept. Accept to agree to something or receive something willingly. Accept the award. Accept is excluding. Other than he ate everything except the spinach. Already completely prepared. The decorations are already previously or before already returned. Here is to listen to, hear the music. Here is in this place, please come here. Right? ACCEPCTEXCEPT and ALL space and then READY and then already ALREADY and then here HEAR and then here HERE. I continue with its shows ownership. The dog wagged his tail. And then IT apostrophe S. A contraction for it is fun to swim. Alright? Principal. The most important are the head of a school, the principal of the middle school. Principal, a rule, truth or belief. I must stick to my principles. Peace. So that's again PRINCIPAL and then PRICIPLE. Peace. Calm, no disagreement. Peace and quiet, PEACE, and then peace, PIECE, a part or portion, piece of pie. There, THEIR, belonging to them, their team. There, THERE, at that place, sit over there. And then there, THER, there, THEY apostrophe RE, contraction for they are, they're happy. TO in the direction of going to the game. TWO also are excessive, too much. And then TWO, the number between 1 and 3, 1, 2, 3. Who's a possessive form of who? Whose turn is it? WHOSE. And then whose, WHO apostrophe S, contraction for who is, who's coming. And then your, a possessive form of your turn. And then YOU apostrophe RE, contraction for you are, you're smart. Alright? I like that last one. That's the involvement. That's the opening segment of all this in kindergarten, that YOU apostrophe RE pertaining to you're smart. To go along with rebuke, not to agree with that, with a thought. The thought to agree with is, you're smart. You just graduated kindergarten and you're about to go start your elementary. And then all the rest is the math fine of colleges. Don't know psychology. But then again, opportunity not to agree with that thought being inspired about the climax, not so much being when you first sit there and learn about psychology when you get to college. And that's to say in time with all the education before getting there. So actually be able to sit and put some degree and some mastery and some professional with it. That's what these 8 semesters is. That's what, to say we have this, now we're about to go to college, and what we're doing when we get to college is we're putting degree, master, and professional with that we obtain for ourselves in kindergarten, elementary, junior high, high school. Alright? Alright, so I use respond and reaction. There was also used humanitarian, and then I use historian, and then psychology. Now what's going on here is humanitarian was kindergarten, elementary, junior high, and then it's translating itself was the historian. Here's where the opportunity to continue to keep the Lord in the picture. This was June 14 here to say the Lord is coming, and it's pretty much like get to adulthood and base my lifetime on the history of continue to keep the Lord in the picture that he's coming, right? To say that the history in it. Look at the good history and keeping up with history. That's some good history to say thus far. And then to say to keeping the good Lord in the picture, because that's in repertoire. So okay, we got all the way to 2019, and what we did is we went from here kindergarten, and we made way in 2019, and we made way with that human spirit whom the Creator presented the Garden of Eden to. We didn't so much go with the Creator who presented the Garden of Eden, but we went with that human spirit whom the Creator presented the Garden of Eden to. So in that area, humanitarian, and then by the time we get to high school, translate itself to historian, and so now it's in college, and now psychology. So, alright, so I believe that's, okay, we got that touched up there. Now, we get into the sum now. We have this SUM. And we have what the stories people tell to explain how they arrive at their unhappy conditions are often wrong. And again, that's in records hard to say. We're here in 2019, and we're explaining the reason why we are here with unhappy conditions in 2019 with the wrong SUM is because, and then to say, using an example, and each and every time there's an explanation gave, it's never this right here. Well, the Creator, the good Lord, left out the picture. Kindergarten, to say when we first started out to make way 2019, he was left out the picture. In elementary, he was left out the picture. Junior high, he was left out the picture. High school, he left out the picture. In 8 semesters of college, he was left out the picture. So now, we've got to use this 5-8 and 5-9 again pertaining to interaction between social forces and individual psychology. Alright? So, social forces. Let's get social forces. And then we have individual psychology. Alright. So now, again, this is in continuing. After I finish my 4th semester, I'm able to celebrate and conclude for myself that I understand psychology. I know what psychology is. And then presented was, when everything in the mind is lit, that's psychology. Along with, to say, keep the good Lord in the picture. The good Lord is the ultimate psychologist. Amen. I believe that's well put. That's at the end of my 4 semesters. And then to say that then carried itself so, because there was opportunity to the 3 years of inspiring with the thus far, and then how that was gave it recognition like so, and then to going back to complete the next 4, and then that just being graduated 2 months ago. And again, this is where this was at the first 4. It was been able to conclude and then gave the format like this. So to say it like this, there is where we're learning either verbally or pictorial. So the verbal, the word of origin being complexity, and then using these conflict and climax. The conflict and the climax is not so words of 2 words of origin in this area. But to say in the innkeeping of how the keeping up with this doing then, when just to say at the first 4 semesters, the 5-8, and then the use of the 5-9, and then using the illustrating of a helicopter pertaining to lifting up our self-esteem, and then to say the conflict and the climax along with this word of origin, complexity, played along here so as a repertoire to, okay, that was 4 semesters of college. It was conflict to say, and then okay, now that was 4 semesters of climax, as it to say so. But the word of origin here, complexity. Complexity. Alright, and so, conscious nervous system, when we get that SUM pertaining to our introvert areas in our everyday, when we get to that SUM pertaining to our extrovert activity in our everyday, pertaining to raising children every day, our nervous system, and there's many more other descriptions for it. That's just paint a nice picture for now. Alright. In tying that, not a bad area to start with pertaining to, okay, then that was after the first 4 semesters of college. Now after the next 4, where the usage of these words again, but the person has become a catch-all complaint for everyone from the stay at home. So let's leave it right there. I played baseball, and when my first season was over, I was gave a baseball MVP award. And then learning to play, because this was my first semester, I had to learn how to play, giving credit to the game and the game of baseball, and giving credit to the coaches, and the whole ideal. There is where using the 5'8" and the 5'9", and what we're doing is we're magnifying the catch-all, okay? Catch-all, I believe that's pronounced well. The 5'9" is the way to, the 5'8" is the way to catch the ball, not the 5'9".
Okay, again, what I'm doing here, I'm just taking some time out to give some words of importance pertaining to me running for president of the United States of America in the upcoming presidential 2020 elections, okay? And again, in the segments here, I've been giving words of importance, and then this is, again, pertaining to, in the area of me just graduating my 8 semesters of college, and then already given opportunity here to say, use college or teach on the topic of psychology. So with this, I'm using the example of the 5'8" candle and the 5'9" candle. Again, this is how I kept up with the first 4 semesters of college that I concluded. And then in that moment's time, this was illustrating to use. And so in thinking of those candles with the lit, right, where it's prophetic for hot, H-O-T, also prophetic for humanness on technology, the flame of the candle being on the candle, being prophetic for humanness on technology. And to go along with, or bring forth some more words of importance, and the words being, we have held that the best way to deal with technological applications in democratic societies is by informed debate, not by appealing to absolute dogmas or emotional sloganeering. All right? Humanness on technology. The candle, the flame on it, and then it's lit. Okay? We're going to get back to the teaching.
Thinking about baseball now. In the sport of baseball, the 5'8" is not the right way to catch. The 5'8" is the right way to catch the ball. The 5'9" is the wrong way to catch the ball. Right? We on defense, we catching the ball with our mitts. The closer you are to the ground when making connection with the baseball, that's the proper way. You go down and you get down to that ground and you catch that baseball close to that ground with your mitt each and every time. On the other end of the season, you're going to have an award for you. Mine happened to be the baseball MVP award. You get down close to that ground each and every time you go for that ball throughout that whole season, George, that you will get that. There's going to be something there for you to magnify all that. Then, and that's not bad. That one day was to complete the season to say, and there's no award such to be gave once getting there. Because to say there's always the next season, and then bringing that you already was able to give for yourself into the next season. But definitely, you do it like that, so at the end of the season, I may see that's going to put you in that bracket to be rewarded with a high accolade for yourself, for oneself. And this is an awesome area to use like this, so because again, when you high up and when you grabbing, you're going after the ball, that's not the proper that I may see the coaches with teachers, but it's going to be the lower you are to the ground, getting in that dirt and getting that ball. You're not going to be able to get in that dirt and get that ball into that mitt if you're that high up. And I say it like this so is because again, there is each and every time we go in here to get that SUM, the 5'9" is the SUM we're going after. The 5'9" when we get in there. Is what not to 5'8". But again, there is where if we're going to take care of our mind, that's also taking care of the 5'8". So maybe that's where the use is a baseball where we can use it. Because the coach, we'll say the 5'8" is the right way to use your mitt to go after that baseball. Is it in your direction? Are you chasing it down? Or to say, so we're not chasing it down. But when we get into the dirt, fixing that area. And that's in repertoire to us taking care of our mind. Though the 5'8" is always used to get to the 5'9", we're taking care of our mind. That's going to keep that 5'8" counter here. In the lit situations and its unlit situations, it's going to keep it good. So when it's time to use that unlit about our 5'8", this counter repertoire of us, or when it's lit. When it's unlit and when it's lit. Again, it gives take us time out to say to keep the glow in the picture, because that's what that do for me each and every time I'm able to receive, to say when he says let there be light, the Creator says let there be light in the opening second before he even brings man and female forward. Let there be light. Another way at it, let things be lit, because things are unlit. And so light was brought forward. Yesterday in the sharing there was how this is already solved to ever use this curtain. It is also the words pertaining to possibility and impossibility. So before the Creator said, let there be light, where glorification is found in that moment, that type of moment already existed. That type of moment already existed. And with that spoken like that, so it was like already solved. So where we can say that was already solved in the mind, that was already solved. Already solved. So not to be discouraged, because to say the SUM is already there to be gained. It's already the answer is already there. We just have to do the work to make manifest of it. But it's already, and that's a good way to leave that right now. And then we make a way to the happening here of interaction between social forces and individual psychology. Because we use it like that. We got the 5'9" as individual psychology. Right, that's okay. Now our individual is lifted with high self-esteem. But before we get there, there's those social forces. I also use the wordings of the never go off problem in the story. Man versus man, man versus society, man versus self, man versus nature, man versus fate. So we focus on the social forces because to say we didn't our individuality sat down and worked things out to get this SUM, and we came up with the wrong SUM. What do we describe that social force as? I mean, what do we describe that force as? Do we describe it as, okay, man versus society? The reason why I ended up with this wrong SUM was because of society. Or did I get the wrong SUM because of self? Did I get the wrong SUM because of nature? Did I get the wrong SUM because of fate? Or was it, or is it I had the wrong song because of man versus man? I want to say when we magnify this area of ourselves, where for starts man versus self. We don't get to this lift off. We don't get to this helicopter and lift off so we can be accredited some self-esteem for ourselves. If we don't do that work that's before us, the work being the equation of the 5-8 candle times the 5-9 candle. The 5-8s represent depression. The 5-9 is representing social isolation. Here's an opportunity where because interaction we want to focus on now, because if we were to say which one is positive, which one is a negative, is depression a negative? Would that be the negative? And would the social isolation be the positive? Social isolation. Because we have the interaction. These the 5-8 and the 5-9 are interacting. They're the same thing. Right? But there is to know the difference. Accept, already, here. It's principle. Peace. There are two. Whose again? Whose? Your, or your, and then your. So all that was interacting. That's interaction we have going on there. To use the words, interaction between social forces and individual psychology. Interaction between social forces and individual psychology. One more time. Interaction between social forces and individual psychology. And I like to use this like this so is because this is all a representation of self. It's all a representation of self for our psychological state. We use psychology here. And then there is what we keeping the good word in the picture to say. So social isolation. To say when we get to this 5-9, we came from somewhere, and then that's another area, another topic, same area though. To say we go from this 5-9 to this 5-8, we then went from somewhere. When we use the 5-8 each and every time, is it because of depression? And we know things will better themselves out when we get to this 5-9. We know things will better themselves out. Now let's use the illustration of the helicopter lifting up. And this is a repertoire of self-esteem. Because I think of social isolation, and it doesn't necessarily have to be so, though there's some interaction going on, don't necessarily have to be so if it would be a depression at all, social isolation. It could be some recharging, edifying, some building up, some lifting up, self-esteem, some lifting up, some self-esteem. And then we're going to put these words with it too. But depression has become a catch-all. We use that, the baseball. But depression has become a catch-all complaint for everyone. I think about the baseball player is complaining, coach, defense. Well, that's because each and every time it's been about going from 5'8" to 5'9". Each and every time it's been about going from 5'8" to 5'9". When there is the going from 5'9" to 5'8" is not a bad way to put it anyway, because the closer you're admitted to the ground, that's actually playing some baseball when we're going after the ball. Actually playing some good defense. But depression has become a catch-all complaint for everyone, from a stay-at-home mother who talk only to toddlers all day to the angry plumber. Now, I want to take some time out to further the magnifying of this nice illustrating moment I made you see. It's uses of playing baseball to say. Because I make it to the All-Star games also. I believe we were around the 8th or the 9th inning. We're losing. All-Star team is losing 7-0. I'm thankful that I made it to All-Star game. This is my first season playing baseball. Oh man, I am thankful that things made it this far. Like, so there was preseason before we had even one regular season. To say preseason game, I mean, like, had to explain what a mid is, where you put the mid. I mean, the coach had some people, some first timers out there, and I was one of them. So by the time we didn't get to mid-season, we went All-Star game. And man, people showed up, kept up with the field, the umpires showed up, the coaches showed up, the parents were taking care. They parts throughout the day because we had to have our uniform washed every day or every time we played a regular game or a game. And then there was us having to play our part. We had to get past grades. If we didn't get past grades, then we couldn't be on the team. And now, with all that spoken, we are halfway throughout this season with the capitalizing on thus far doing then with an All-Star game. Now, I'm fortunate enough to be in it, and fortunate enough to just be happy that I made it to All-Star and got thus far to say all other teammates from other teams, though. Knowing the difference then, we're not from the same team here. But we're losing 7-0. Now, I don't really have a complaint going on. Because, say, things turned out well, I was blessed to be team's MVP when that thing was over. Where am I, though, right now, in All-Star game doing it, before getting to the conclusion of that season? And that's using this 5'8", 5'9" correctly. I'm losing 0-7. As if to say I should be complaining. I'm using this 5'8", 5'9" just right. Okay? But depression has become a catch-all complaint. Depression has become a catch-all complaint. Just to say, catching that ball well, you shouldn't have no complaint. And then the rest of the story is, oh, coach, I don't. Losing 7-0. I'm just happy to be here. And that's not playing ball, just out there and just party. Playing ball, just like we played ball to make it to All-Star team, just losing 7-0. Alright, so, but depression has become a catch-all complaint for everyone from the stay-home mother who talks only to toddlers all day to the angry unemployed man. Now, I'm talking to my teammates. I'm like, we're losing 7-0, but I'm so proud of all you God that you made it here. And then in conclusion, for them to say, oh, we're proud of you too, Real. Well, this inspired me to get up to bat and at least put 1 point on our board. So to say when we get to, we here at adulthood, we have opportunity at our honest history, and we have opportunity to share about our life's journey, and we're telling our stories, or we get an opportunity to tell our testimonies. We have this moment where, yeah, we lost our all-star game, but we was able to put 1 point on the board. It wasn't so much of a 7-0 thing. So I'm inspired to get it to bat and at least try to put 1 point on the board. In conclusion, when the game was over, that's what transpired itself. So, all right, we're going to focus on that area. Because, I mean, this is awesome repertoire to hear. Using 5-8, right. It's 5-8, 5-9. Pretty much we can say that we went in there and we calculated that 5-8, that 5-9, that 5-8 candle with that 5-9 candle, and we had the right sum. And then the illustration, we use the baseball to tie things to these perfect words here. But depression has become a catch-all complaint. Again, using this right won't be a complaint to say, okay, the 5-8 times the 5-9 candle, 5-8 candle, and we're using this right, we're getting the right sum, wouldn't be no complaint. And then there's also even when the wrong sum is gay, but where we can use the word try, that it'd be equivalent to we got the right sum, right? But primary, right sum, S-U-M. But the person has become a catch-all. But where we find the complaint, and then to say like so, because to say like so, really zero in on that, where probably it wasn't so much of a complaint, interaction, knowing the difference. Proud of you guys that you guys made it here. Oh, proud of you too. Oh, I'm going to battle a little bit, take this. And at least try to get us 1 point on the board, so when it's over, we can just get like blown out. And then we was able to celebrate that 1 point when I got back to the bench. But depression has become a catch-all complaint for everyone from the stay-home mother who talks only to toddlers all day, to the angry unemployed man who feels the world has handed him a raw deal. I'm thinking of the baseball player again. This baseball season handed me a raw deal, and then again because got the wrong S-U-M here. Then whereas it's the 5-8, the 5-9, it gives opportunity. We taking care of our mind. We get them to take care of our mind. And say, and it's not so much of taking care of the 5-9, but it's also taking care of that 5-8. Pertaining to when it's come complexity, and then we're going to use conflict and climax. When we go to use that 5-8 moment about ourselves, that we can get to that 5-9 because we got the introverts, we got the extrovert, we got the racing children, we got the nervous system, the response. I think about male and female when we got the response, we got the reaction. The male, if he's reacting all day around the female, oh boy. To imagine if he's responding around the female all day. So, world has handed him a raw deal. Man who feels the world has handed him a raw deal. The baseball player is feeling the mitt handed to him, the bat that was handed to him. All that was handed to him in his season. Or her season. And so, and then we use this area where we can work it out. In this area to say so. Because again, zeroed in. We're now, where we're not going to conclude to say so fast, okay, that's a complaint. We're losing 7-0. We're else complaining that we're losing 7-0 when there is maybe so not wanting to conclude. ruling that so much because where that's not so much of a complaint, it may be interacting with the complaint. ACCEPTEXEPT ALLSpace READYALLERHEREITS apostrophe S principle PRINCIPAL principle PRINCIPLE peace 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 PIEC there THEIR there 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 THEY apostrophe RE two TO two TOO two TWO whose 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 apostrophe S your 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 I'd say are your YOU apostrophe RE. Okay, so in conclusion we're saying all day today an unemployed man who feels the world has handed him a raw deal. The diagnosis may be accurate. That's the ball happened to come in the baseball defender's way. Yes, it did. But when it did, the player went with the 5'9". The baseball player went with the 5'9", didn't go with the 5'8". The diagnosis may be accurate.